You should press record.
All right, guys. I did that. You know what, Justin?
You say computer.
All right, guys. Welcome to our compensation training for 2020. We are going to hopefully help you guys understand how you get paid, why it's important to focus on certain things within the compensation plan, a couple things about the compensation plan that we weren't aware of, and hopefully this will be a basic to advanced kind of training, whether you are an essential consultant or you're an SSD and you want to learn more about building wealth and understanding what these percentages actually mean. So I'm Chloe. This is Justin.
Hello.
And then we have Chastity and Katie up at the top. That's Katie, y'all. I don't know why she's looking so confused. Katie is literally in her own world right now.
And have a hoodie on.
It is freezing in this house.
I wish.
Katie, don't talk about that right now. Fired. Okay, so we are going to literally go ahead and get started. Hopefully this won't take super long, 30 minutes, 45 max. We want this to be honestly a resource for you to know how to get paid. I'm going to be honest, a couple things that we recently found out we didn't know, and we want to just make sure that you guys know what's important and how to lose your title, how to get paid a title, how to make money, okay? Because at the end of the day, especially if you're a leader, you know, when this does become a real business and you're making real money, you put Scentsy as a part of your like your lifestyle and your bills and things like that. It becomes a piece of actual income for you. So we want to be able to help you guys understand how to do that if you want to do that. So I'm going to get started. I'm just going to talk a little bit about why it's so important to understand the compensation plan, just a couple ethical things within doing things the right way, not bonus buying and not, you know, pretty much buying kits and doing these things so you can have active frontline. Those are all no-nos, but we're not going to get into compliance. So what I want to really say is that, again, this is real money. This is real income. We will put the income disclosure with this, obviously, because it'll be on YouTube, but all of us on here, we do this full time, okay? I started 8 years ago and was a nurse at the same time, did not think that this was real income. I promoted to director and still didn't understand the compensation plan. So there's that. I promoted a director and didn't understand that I got paid 3% off of her. And as I grew directors and promoted to star director, I truly did not even understand at that point what a second gen director actually meant. And then I didn't understand how important it was to build a lot of frontline directors. I didn't understand why it was important to build a frontline. I was doing all of that, but I never stopped to actually understand the compensation plan until a couple years ago. And I'm saying that because I think that a lot of people promote very quickly, and right now we're experiencing hyper growth. Or maybe you're watching this at a different time and it's not this hyper growth season, but I am claiming that we are going to be in hyper growth forever and ever, amen. So there's that. But with hyper growth, you can skip steps and miss steps. And with the compensation plan, which you guys have the best people that are going to be training you on this, Chastity is about to dive into some really basic stuff with the compensation plan, which, by the way, every one of you should know exactly how to find that in your workstation. We do have some resources Justin will attach in the Google Drive, but it's in every catalog. It is also in your new consultant guide that you get when you are a consultant. There's a PDF of it as well on the workstation. So we really want you also following along with us. So if you have, every one of you should have a catalog. If not, you have PDF, pull this up with us, even though you're probably going to see stuff on Chastity's screen. I recommend you print it off if you can print it off really quick so you can mark it up. You can circle things. You can understand when they talk about how to get paid at your title. But the biggest thing I want you guys to understand is that knowledge is power, and you have to know how you get paid. You have to know. I had someone actually tonight asking me questions about Scentsy, and she was in another company, And she literally was like, why is Scentsy different? Tell me about the compensation plan. And because I knew about the compensation plan, it was so easy for me to explain to her how it's just different, how the model is different, how it's very simple. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Chas, are you ready? I'm going to spotlight you. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, guys. So like Chloe said, if you have a compensation plan, I think that it would be very, very helpful for you to follow along with that. If you have a catalog, if you have your product training guide, if you guys are brand new, I mean, not product training guide, consultant hand guide, that consultant hand guide is your Scentsy Bible. And like Chloe said, we really want this training to be for brand new people all the way up through superstar director. So a compensation plan on you at all times is super, super important, because you don't ever want to be at a place where you're like about to promote and you have no idea. So anyways, if you have just joined Scentsy, we welcome you and we're so excited, number one, but everybody starts Scentsy as something called an essential consultant. And that essential consultant starts out at 20% PRV. So if you do not realize what PRV is, that stands for personal retail volume. And personal retail volume is basically just the product cost before tax. Now, PRV does vary on a few different items, such as the with box and licensed items. So it is very important for you to educate yourself on those different things, because there's a lot of different verbiage that you're going to see that in Scentsy that's based off of PRV. So make sure that you educate yourself on those items that are maybe just a little bit less than pre-tax value. So as an essential consultant, you automatically start at making 20% off of everything that you sell based off of PRV points. And I'm just going to say that with me coming from another direct sales before I was with Scentsy, our compensation plan is hands down the very, very best. We get compensated very, very well for our hard work. And if you've ever been with another direct sales, I encourage you to compare that, because I'm here to tell you that our compensation plan is thebomb.com, and it's just where it's at. So anyway, everybody is eligible to earn 20% when you first join. Now, the great thing about Scentsy is once you sell 1,000 lifetime PRV, you get a 5% bonus or 5% raise for life, meaning you make 25% off of everything that you sell based off of PRV points. Now, what's really, really amazing, and a lot of people don't realize this, if you join today and you sell 1,000 PRV in this month, you make 25% on that 1,000 PRV. Hello, everybody should be shooting for certified the very first month. Otherwise, you're leaving money on the table. And like Chloe said, at the end of the day, most of us join Scentsy for either like building our stash or for money. Like that, real life, guys, money talks. And so when you are an essential consultant, you're leaving money on the table every single month that you are not reaching certified. So if you just joined, whether you're watching this training with us live or you're watching it 3 months from now, shoot for certified your very first month. You're leaving money on the table. Okay. So from there on out, you make 25% off of everything that you sell, which is amazing. But guess what? Scentsy even incentivizes you and gives you a 5% bonus in any month that you sell 2,000 PRV or more. Hello, that is a guaranteed $600 paycheck. Like, what are we doing if we're not reaching for 2,000 every single month? And I know that when you first join 2,000 PRV, you're like, oh my God, I could never do that. Number one, that's the devil. And don't let the devil tell you that you can't do something, because you're going to believe it. So don't let that inner mean girl or inner mean boy tell you that you can't sell 2,000 PRV in a month, because every time that you listen to that voice, it's going to be true. But I'm here to tell you, it's the 10th of the month. And once again, I'm not bragging. I'm telling you this because I know that the other two leaders that are on here, their PRV is probably higher than mine. And I'm already at 2,500 PRV on the 10th of the month. And that's because I front loaded my month, and because I'm not leaving money on the table. I am going to earn that 30% off of everything that I sell from here on out. So anytime that you don't sell $2,000 or 2,000 PRV, you're leaving 5% on the table. That 5% is just going back to Scentsy instead of your pocket. So that is something that I strive for every single month. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't set your goal at 2,000, your business, it's going to be a struggle. And I'm not saying that to be ugly, but I was the girl that was selling 500 minimum and I was good. But my business has grown astronomically from pushing myself to reach 2,000 every single month. It's non-negotiable for me, non-negotiable. So that $600 paycheck is without any type of bonus from sponsoring, from anything. Every single person that's on this call, whether you joined today or yesterday or whenever, everybody has that same opportunity. And I'm just going to say that again real quick before I start talking about the leadership roles. The one thing that I really love about Scentsy is that at the beginning of every single month, it doesn't matter if you are a superstar director or an essential consultant, everybody starts back over at zero. Everybody has the exact same opportunities that somebody that joined 8 years ago. We all start over at zero every month and have to earn back our leadership titles. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want you guys to realize. All right, so now if you have, and you're certified for life, so once you get that certified thing, or you earned your first promotion of being certified, you always make 25%. Okay, now if you have your compensation plan, I want you to look up there at the top, and I can screen share here in just a couple of seconds, but if you're brand new, I just want you to look at the different titles across the top, because those are very, very important when it comes to promoting in this business. Now, when it comes to promotions in this business, it is 110% fine if you want to stay a certified consultant forever and ever, amen. If you don't want to be a leader and you don't want to have people on your team, that is fine. And I know that your leader will tell you that that is fine, because we don't want people sponsoring that don't want that responsibility. You can absolutely pass that responsibility on to someone who is ready to take on that leadership role, and no one's going to feel some type of way because you don't want to do that. All right. But to promote past certified, you have to sponsor. Okay. And so when it comes to advancing, you're going to see on your compensation plan, and I'm going to screen share so that, oh, it says host disabled participant screen sharing. See if that will. Is it going to work now? Perfect. Okay. So hold on, my little Zoom thing keeps coming down. Okay. So when you guys can see my screen, Chloe? Yes? Okay. So what I want you guys to pay attention to right here is something called GWV and TWV, okay? All this means is group wholesale volume and team wholesale volume, all right? Now, if you are brand new or you do not have a director underneath you, this GWV and TWV are going to be the exact same, so you don't need to worry about it at all. Because the most important thing that you need to worry about is sponsoring and teaching your team to be successful in this business. So these are going to be the exact same, okay? Something else that is super, super important for you to understand is the definition of frontline. And this is where a lot of people get confused, okay? So a frontline is somebody that you personally sponsor, just you, okay? Now, it says active frontline consultant. So for someone to be active, that means they have sold a minimum of 200 PRV in that month. Okay, so this is something also that people get a little bit confused on. When it comes to promotions, active means every single month. Okay, so you may have a team member that joins that maybe they don't sell 200 in 1 month. That just means that they don't count towards your active frontline for your promotion. Okay, but that doesn't mean that they're no longer on your team. Okay, so as you can see across here with the compensation plan, this 500 stays the same. So no matter what title you're at, everybody that wants to be a leader and paid bonuses off their team, you must have a minimum of 500 PRV. And that is something that your leader should be, and I'm sure they are, is preaching to you. Because within this group, we have 500 by the 15th. And that's non-negotiable if we are going to be a leader, because you don't ever want to be in a situation where your team has performed, but you haven't. Because as a leader, it doesn't matter if the number down here is 5 million. If you don't have this, you're not going to get paid off of your team and you're not going to be able to promote. Okay, so when it comes to active frontline, you can see that this does grow. So to be a lead consultant, you must have a minimum of 1 active frontline. Okay, as a star, you must have a minimum of 2 active frontline. And then from superstar and up, you must have 3 active frontline or more. Now, the thing that's super important to remember about this is you must meet these requirements every single month. So you are going to promote once, but then for you to continue to get paid off of your team, you must meet all 3 requirements. Okay, so this is where I'm going to talk to you about your GWV and TWV, because we've talked about our 500 is a minimum, everybody has to have it, and then you can see these as they grow. This GWV and TWV stands for wholesale volume. So what that means is that 75% of the PRV that you and your team members have earned. Okay, so your PRV and anybody on your team is going to go into this group and team wholesale volume. Now, the reason why it's 75% is because Scentsy is basically subtracting the 25% commission that they were giving you on that PRV. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. If not, it's math. I'm a 4th grade teacher and I still hate math, but the great thing about our workstation is it automatically calculates it for you, and Justin and Chloe have made a really great chart that's going to explain it just a little bit more. Okay, so then once again, this is what you have to have. Now, when it comes to this active frontline, what I was saying earlier is people get confused because they're like, well, I have 5 people on my team, but you only have 1 active frontline, because frontline means it is you personally sponsoring. And guys, I've had this happen to directors that they're not getting paid off of their team because they quit personally sponsoring. And you can never quit personally sponsoring. I'm not going to get into all that. Okay, so you can see as you promote, you grow. Your TWV and GWV grows. The thing that's really important is about our compensation plan is you can't promote alone. And you can't just sit up at the top and make all this money and not take care of your team and not bring other people with you, because that is where you're going to find success, is bringing other people to the top with you. And let me just go ahead and tell you that there is room for every single person on this call to be a superstar director. You just have to put your mind to it and do it. And I believe that wholeheartedly. So I'm not going to go through all of these numbers. You guys can see this. But what I want you guys to realize through here, once you promote to lead consultant and above, this is where your pay is going to increase. You can see that Your 25% stays the same on PRV, but you are going to earn a bonus off of your personal wholesale volume, which is 75% of your PRV. Okay. And then you can see that this percentage increases as you increase in rank. Okay. And then this is where the bonuses become even larger, and it says Frontline. This is where so many people get so confused. Frontline. You personally sponsor them. Not every single person in your downline. They will help your numbers grow, but Frontline is where you're at. And I know these other two people, the rest of them are going to talk a lot about Frontline. And Frontline. That's what you need to know. Frontline. Okay. That is you personally sponsoring them. And so you can see what happens as you have Frontline certified, Frontline lead, Frontline star, Frontline superstar, Frontline director. You can see this grows. You can see the progression. And they're going to talk some more about that progression. But the number one thing that I need you guys to remember is you can promote to lead consultant last month. But if you don't go and put in your 500, it doesn't matter what your team does. If you don't have 2 active Frontline and you're a star consultant, but you have 2,500 GWV, but you don't have your active Frontline, you're leaving money on the table. You are leaving money on the table every time you don't get paid at title. And that's what we mean by paid at title. You have to meet those requirements every single month. This compensation plan should be your best friend. We learned new things last week. There are plenty of videos on your workstation. Justin has created a little tip sheet that I'm sure he's going to share, as well as a promotions 101. And just the biggest thing that I can say is you need to always know where you stand. You can never stop sponsoring. You can never stop selling. And we all start over at certified at the very beginning of the month. Okay? And Emily said, so every month you start as certified. Yes. So when the workstation updates and it's the first of the month, every single one of us start back over at 0. And we have to, even as superstar directors, we have to put our 500 in. We have to have our active Frontline. We have to have those team and GWV numbers. We cannot just sit at the top and make money off of our team. And that's what I love about this business, because I was with another direct sales where they could sit at the top. Once they got there, they never had to do anything else if they didn't want to. And that wasn't fair. And that created a culture that wasn't about teamwork. And it wasn't about helping people get to the top. It was all about me. And you will never find that within our groups. Never. And that's just what I love. Nobody can just sit back and stop working their business. And if you do, I mean, the proof is going to be in your paycheck. Last thing I wanted to say about this really quick, make sure that when you do get paid and you've been with Scentsy, once you click your commission, you can go into your commission history and click the different tabs and see exactly how much you made based on the different titles or based on different things within your team. So make sure you're actually going in there and drilling in it. Don't just see what you got paid and woohoo. I mean, for me, I'm going to go in there and see, where did I leave money on the table? Where can I improve? What is it that I need to be doing to increase that paycheck, or things like that? So make sure you're actually going in and looking at all of that. All right? All right.
All right. Now it's back to us. That means we're up.
Justin.
That means we're up. All right. So my name's Justin. This is Chloe. I'm going to get in trouble tonight. It's okay. All right. So what I want to talk to you guys tonight, obviously, is promotions, and a little bit, I'm pretty sure everybody knows the story of how we got involved with Scentsy, but this is why I was so interested in Scentsy, because it was the only direct sale company out of hundreds that I researched before I signed Chloe up that I could understand by just looking at it. A lot of the other ones were very vague, and a lot of the other ones didn't always, like, they would not explain a lot. And so Scentsy's, I like how upfront and easy it was for me to see, okay, the more people that you bless with this business, but you still have to work, you make more money. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, and
so
that's the thing. And Justin's going to get into like
Yep.
some promotion 101s that we've created and some other things, but it is super important before he dives into how you get paid. And he's going to say a couple things that's new to some people, things that we weren't aware of. I want to make it very clear that if you do think that you can sit back and make money, and I'm aware that within any company you can do that, I want you to understand that that's not any way to build wealth. That's not going to build a true business. And so I just want to encourage you guys, like Chastity said, to understand that you should not want to stop sponsoring, number one, but also that you really cannot. And if you do, eventually you will fizzle out. Because if you don't have those 3 active frontline, even us, the superstar directors, all 3 of us, if we don't have that, we are not even going to get paid the bare minimum title. So don't be that person that wants to promote because you want to do the bare minimum active frontline.
Absolutely. And so that's what I just wanted to say real quick. Like from my perspective and looking at this comp plan, I know it can be a lot, but I'm the type of person with anything, any business I'm dealing with, you have to understand what you're working for, because if you watch my reports training, if you watch anything, everything that we do from the legs of success is based off of this compensation plan and the different levels and the different metrics. That's how we have future directors. If you've seen anything on our team page where I'm like, hey, potential directors or director watch or star director watch, everything's based off of these parameters set in the compensation plan. So this is why I felt like in all the SSDs on here, minus Jamie, because she hit SSD after we did this plan.
And Ray, but she couldn't be on.
And yeah, Ray couldn't be on, but we felt like it was important because we were getting a lot of questions. And I think it's something that a lot of people just, when they sign up, it's not talked about a lot. So before I do anything, what I want you, I'm just going to ask a question and everybody doesn't have to answer this. How many of you guys have actually clicked the join link on your website, on your PWS, and read the information that's on there? Okay, that's good that people have, because guess what? It actually has a calculator on how much you get paid on there. It actually has all this information. It has a lot of the tools that we're training on tonight. So what I'm saying is Scentsy is making it so easy for you guys to recruit and show these people the value that Scentsy can add to you. So a lot of people all the time, their biggest struggle with direct sales in general, the biggest complaint I always hear is, I can't recruit. You hear me say it all the time, Chloe. I've told her the most important leg is PRV and build your customer base, but it's also understanding why somebody needs to join. And why somebody needs to join is this compensation plan and how much money you can make on it. So going into the promotion 101, I first want to, you want me to go ahead and go into the promotions, or you want me to talk about the out promoting thing now first?
I want you to talk about whatever you want.
Okay, so one thing that I'm going to do with this video is, after this video is done, recorded and uploaded, I created a little resource folder for everybody. So what I'm going to do right now is kind of walk through that resource folder and show some of it to you guys, because it has all the resources from your workstation, from things I've made on how you get paid and what the different levels are, how you reach the next level. We'll talk a little bit about Director Q during this time too, because I know that may be some confusion there, and kind of getting like the out promotions or outranking, and we'll go through all that stuff. So I'm going to start sharing my screen real quick. Compensation. So you'll see this says on the screen when it starts to share. Can everybody see that? Let's see. Okay, they can see it. All right, so this is going to be the folder that is going to be under this video whenever I upload it. So first and foremost, when we talk about compensation plan, Chastity went through everything and how you get paid. But one thing I want you guys to realize is, since he actually has extra money on the table besides the comp plan with you guys. And so in this folder, you're going to see, and I don't know, some of you guys may have heard of it, you may not have, but what I'm going to show you guys is this right here. This is called, it's in your consultant guide. It talks about the different bonuses Scentsy can give you. And so what I want to say, the most important one that you guys need to be striving for, really the two, is annual mentor and annual sales. And I don't know why it looks this weird on here like that, but I'm going to download it this way to make it look better so you can see it. And that way I can zoom in on it.
And you guys can download
and you can actually, it's in your consultant guide. I mean, it's in your it's in your consultant guide, and it actually talks about it. But here, I'm gonna share. I need to share this screen. So I'm gonna share a different screen. Stop share. Hold on, I'm gonna switch my screen real quick. All right, so wait, no, that's not the right one. Sorry, it keeps going to the wrong one. Share screen. I am right here. All right, so now you guys can see this. So this is the different types of bonuses that Scentsy offers. So first and foremost, you see the annual sales award or the annual sales excellent award that goes to all consultants who achieve 30,000 in PRV in the year through May 1st through April 30th. So that's the fiscal year that they use to calculate the annual sales. So that's 30,000 in PRV, which equates to what? I mean, it's right at almost 2,000 a month, right? Which is what we preach.
It's different. You have to have a couple months where it's a little heavier, and we have stuff in the Guide to Growth resources for you guys.
But there's a method to our madness. When you hear us always preach 2,000 PR a month, 2,000 PR a month, you get the 5% bonus, all of these different things. There's a reason to it. Obviously, we're firm believers in where the higher the PRV, the more customers you're touching, which leads to more recruits, which leads to a higher active frontline, which leads to a strong team. But also, you get a $1,000 bonus and a nice plaque for doing it. That's free money you get just for working your business.
Let me stop, Justin. If you want it very simply put, if you want to consistently do the same amount of sales every month to earn, if you drink my wine one more time, sorry. YouTube. I don't know what he thinks this is. If you want to just consistently have a certain amount of PRV to drill it in your head, $2,500 a month times 12 months is going to be 30,000. Just to kind of break it down for you guys. If you want to know like a solid number, that's very attainable. Very attainable.
And that's going to be better, like I said, for everybody that's listening to this call and who's heard any of the trainings, because that's the strongest leg of the stool, because that honestly is what you are. You're a sales consultant for the most part, and then you get the leadership leg started once you start getting active frontline and growing it. So that's $1,000 you get for hitting that. So congratulations, because I think if you hit that last year, that bonus may be coming, I think, this week or next week. So congratulations to everybody who earned that. That's extra money that's on the table. Now, let's talk about the third leg of the stool, which is coaching and developing, which is the annual mentor award. Now, here's the cool thing about this. You personally enroll 14 consultants, which I mean is a little over one a month. If you want to break it down, we say 2 a month, but it's a little over 1 a month so just shoot for 2 a month, which is what we coach for. Then you're going to be eligible, and they hit certified during that time. That's $25 bonus per certified consultant, and then you get $50 if they reach lead or higher. So if you have somebody that you enroll at least 14 minimum, and they hit lead, that's $50 plus 25 for the other one. So there's no cap on that. So if you recruit 30 people during that time frame, and all of them get the lead consultants, you can do the math. 50 times 30, that's what you get. And it's crazy that they don't put a cap on that, but if you think about it, it helps them out because you're building a strong team. So from a compensation standpoint, I feel like that's very important, because I don't know if we've ever done like an in-depth training on the monetization, meaning money you get for working towards these, but that's $1,000 that's on the table for you just working your business consistently, and then that's an unlimited amount you could get for the annual mentor. So just keep that in mind. Just some other stuff. There's a couple other things on here too.
Yeah, Shooting Star Trainer, just go over that really quick. Someone signs up under you as a new consultant, not a reinstatement. They earn Shooting Star, 500 in sales in their first 15 days. You, as their sponsor, get compensated in your account ledger $25 the following 10th of the month when we get paid. So yeah.
And then the director consistency. I mean, there's just other different types of other type of awards you get. So just make sure you understand this. And the reason why, and like I put 2 other things with the compensation plan that's going to be in this folders for you got to use. But the important thing to understand this is because on top of recruiting, you have to be confident and understand your business. You have to be a master at this in order to effectively recruit somebody, to make sure you're setting them up for success and yourself. So I think that that's awesome, and it's cool that Scentsy allows that and does that for you guys. So another resource I'm going to show to you guys, and this was actually in Coach to Coach, but I'm putting it in this too, just in case if anybody doesn't watch Coach to Coach for some reason, I still wanted you guys to have this resource in order for you to be able to see some other resources that's through the workstation for you guys to understand how you get paid. So I'm going to go back to this right here because this is where I have that. All right, we're going to click out of this. So you're going to see this Compensation 101 document. All right. And like I said, this is resources for compensation and how you get paid. So if you have not already done Coach to Coach, I recommend doing it. But if not, you can still get the links through here. But this has all the videos and everything that's in this document is from your workstation. But I just made it very easy for you guys with links. So for instance, if you want to know if you are a star consultant and you want to get the superstar consultant, I made this for you right here. You click on this link. You click here, and it takes you to the website, and it has it where you can preview the PDF. You preview the PDF, or you can download it, and it tells you exactly what you need to be paid a title. It says what you earn, and then it says what you should know. It breaks down everything. It makes it so easy for you to understand compensation that you will be a master at it. It talks about what team wholesale volume is. It talks about downline. It talks about bonus. And then here's the great thing. How to promote the superstar consultant. It tells you on these documents, and there's one for every rank. So if you did not know that, I recommend you download all of these. And if you've done a coaching call with Chloe and I, we intentionally put all these on each level of the coaching form because we want to make it as difficult as possible for you guys to not know how to get to the next level. Like, we want you to have so much knowledge because knowledge is power. And I firmly believe that understanding the compensation plan and where you want to go is how you want to get there. So if you want to mess around and go back to, even if you're not a superstar director, but if you want to know how to get there, or let's just go to the star director one, and you're like, okay, I want to see how to get the superstar director. So let's say I'm a star director and I want to look at this. You click on it. All right. It says, congratulations on your promotion. Here's what you need to be paid a title. Obviously, there's a little bit more in detail. It says what you earn. And look at this. And it's just crazy. The higher in rank you get, the more percentages you get. You get awarded the higher you get in the company because you're working harder and you're growing a stronger team, and you get compensated well for it. And then it goes down and shows how you promote the superstar director right there. Now, there is one that I want to talk about a little bit because I feel like it's not talked about a lot, and that is the director Q, and that is on the director compensation plan. So and the reason why I want to talk about this is not anything negative. It's just I know we've had a couple of our leaders, probably all the SSD on this call, I'm pretty sure they may have had a director go into the Q. And so this is a great way and a good segue for me to talk about outranking too. So before you hit director, you can get passed by somebody. So if you have a frontline that was a lead and you're a lead, but then they go to a star, you no longer can get paid off them. So the good thing about hitting director is once you hit director, you cannot get outranked no more.
Out-promoted.
Out-promoted. You cannot get out-promoted or anything once you hit director. So
make sure you really slow down on this because you're already probably going to confuse them.
Yeah, and if I'm confused and we're going to have a Q&A at the end, I'll be happy to clear anything up, but I'll slow down here. So what I'm saying is this. The important thing about the director and why they made the director Q is because they realized that once you hit director, you can start actually making money off of your first generation directors that you promote. So some of those first generation directors may promote the star director before you. Some of them may even promote the superstar director before you. So it is very important to understand that when you hit director, you will always get paid off your first gen director, star director, or superstar director. Now, the director Q is this. If for some reason you do not hit director numbers for 3 consecutive months.
And hit director numbers means you were not paid at title. I want to be very clear on what that actually means.
Yes, meaning you are not paid as a director.
Yeah, and let's stop. You get paid at the title you earn at the end of that month.
Yes.
So even if we're superstar directors and I don't have, say I only have 2 active frontline, but I hit all the other numbers, I'm getting paid as a star consultant. So I want to make it really clear on, you have to hit every parameter in that line like Chastity showed you for whatever your title is in that solid month. You get paid at what you earn. And so when it comes to outranking, okay, for a long time, all of us on this call, and probably many of you now, probably thought it was this way. We thought that from essential all the way up to the very top, if someone out promoted their sponsor, they did not get paid off of their team anymore. That is not true once you get to director. So like Justin said, from lead to superstar consultant, say there is a star consultant with a lead consultant under her, all right, who is her frontline. That lead consultant promotes to SSC, and she out promotes her sponsor. She will not get paid off that SSC. But when someone is a director, and say there is a director and she has a frontline director under her, and that frontline director then promotes to star director. We have had a couple people in this group, and this has been going on, I just wasn't aware. When that person promotes to star director, that director that is their sponsor is still getting paid 3% off their TWV as long as that director is getting paid at title. Another example, if somebody is a director and they have a frontline underneath them, okay? Frontline can also be someone that rolls up to you. It's a 0.1 is a frontline, all right, when you look at the workstation. So say there is someone under a director and she outranks her sponsor and she hits star director, then she hits superstar director. Once this director, so this director is still getting paid off the superstar director up here. I want to be very clear. She's making 3%. But once that director promotes to star director, now that star director is making 4% off of that SSD's first gens, which are that star director's now second gens. Now I want to be very clear on this. We don't create lazy work ethics, nor will I ever condone it. So I do not want you to think, because if you have someone who's a rock star under you that outranks you and they hit star director, do not work your business and want to promote the star director just so you can get paid off their first gens, which will be your second gens. That is not a good work ethic to have, and I'm saying that because now that people are going to be aware of it, I want to make it very, very clear. That should not make you lazy. That should make you motivated to want to work and want to get to number one, that director who just outranked you to get to that promotion for yourself. But I want to make it really clear that from director above, you cannot get out promoted. Okay? If you look at the compensation plan, and this is where we went wrong and didn't understand, you can only out promote again from essential to SSC. Okay? Once you're a director, you cannot lose any directors under you or star directors under you that are your frontline. If you look at the compensation plan, directors get paid 3% of the TWV of their frontline directors. So hopefully that made sense. I wanted to break it down a little bit more though.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you did that because I just wanted to make you guys aware of that too, because it's exciting that you get there, but it also makes sense on why the director queue exists, because Scentsy is making it so hard for you guys. They're basically giving you 6 months to not lose the title of being a director, if you think about it, because 3 months you go into the queue, then they give you another 3 months.
Yes, and if you lose your title as director though, and you go down to SSC, at that point you do not get paid 3%.
You don't get paid off your frontline number.
And why is that? You're getting paid as an SSC. You got to look at the compensation plan. You don't make money off first gen directors as the SSC. You make 3% off first gen directors as a director. You have to follow the line and understand what you're getting paid at the rank that you end, unless you are an SSC or below. Someone can out promote you if you have someone under you, and again, they're a star consultant, you're a lead consultant, you out promote them to SSC, you're no longer getting, they're no longer going to be a part of your team, your TWV, any of that. But once they hit director, or you hit director, whatever, your frontline directors, you're always going to make 3%. And it's very important, like Chastity said, that you guys are looking at your commission history. That
Yes.
you are opening, you can click in your commission history on the numbers, and anything that's underlined, there's a reason it's a different color and underlined. You can click it and expand that column and look at everybody's name and what you're making. So in my opinion, if you're sitting back and making a ton of money off somebody, but you're literally not doing any, I'm going to be honest, and I'm just going to call it as it is, you're not doing coaching calls, you're not doing anything, that's a really bad work ethic. And you need to look at what's happening, because I want you to know that now we see it. We know that people are getting paid off of first generation directors that are now their star director. And like you guys are saying on the side, and I love that, it should motivate you, right? And we have literally a situation right now where one of my directors just had a star director out promote her, but that director has also been working with her entire team. She's the reason that girl promoted to star director. So it's Michelle Hall, so she won't care if I call her out, but she's excited to get to that level. She helped her team promote. That's what we want. That's what we want to teach you guys to do.
Absolutely. And so I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that Scentsy is setting it up that once you hit that title as director, they're basically saying we want you to stay there because we understand the amount of money and the potential that you can make.
And just dig into for a
second. So, and I was going to talk about it.
PWV, what that means.
Yeah, personal wholesale volume.
Yeah.
And so personal wholesale volume is an amount that they assign to you for the wholesale of that item, meaning the products that they have in stock. And then PRV, and Chastity hit it on the head when she was talking about like there's different PRV. PRV is basically points that they assign to you or to a specific product that you earn for selling those products. So what I want to say is this too, because I think this is something that's also not utilized. And I think coming down the road, and you can see it in your catalogs if you have them, where you are going to start getting commission off Scentsy Club. It's not, happening now, but I see a lot of people you hear say we want you to have 500 by the 15th or 500 by the 5th. You hear all these things. In my opinion, going forward, and you'll hear Chloe and I, and I'm sure all the other SSDs start talking about this more and more, your PRV shouldn't be an issue no more because we have Scentsy Club.
Yeah, and
you should be active minimum with Scentsy Club.
And again, we are all going to be diving into this year. All of the SSDs are aware of like what Scentsy Club can do for you guys. I just don't think you guys understand how to use it. So again, if you're looking at our Instagrams right now, you can see that we are pushing Scentsy Club for a reason, because that is going to be really the future of reoccurring orders to get you to your 500, and not only that, to 1,000 just in club orders. It's going to be really, really great. So we're excited about that. But yes, so in the PWV, as you guys can look, when you look on the compensation plan, you're now, when you're promoting, you're starting to get paid off the personal wholesale volume. That is in your reporting tab and clicking your performance tab after that.
Yep.
And you can literally see that first column that comes up on your performance tab before you click to show your leadership report. It's your PRV, and then I believe directly under it is your PWV. So you're now getting paid off of that as a lead consultant. And then you're making more if you're looking at the compensation plan off of that as star. And then once you promote to superstar. So Scentsy is literally compensating you directly by making up to 30, I want to say it's 39%. 25. I'm really bad at math. Yeah, 30.
Yes.
So
well, that's what you don't count from the Scentsy Club.
I'm not doing Scentsy Club.
Okay.
So 25% and then 9% just as a director with just you. So 34, right?
Yeah.
So I'm such a millennial. I always need a calculator. So, but that's literally bonuses that are climbing up just with your PRV and your personal wholesale volume. And then what Katie's going to talk with you guys about is the importance of not just growing your active frontline, but helping them promote, helping them understand how to grow. I want to be very clear again, you're not going to grow unless you get super lucky and get a Katie or a Chastity or a Chloe, which by the way is about a 1 out of 1,000 chance. you are not going to promote and do well. You may promote, but you're not going to build the kind of money and income you can build if you don't help other people promote.
Yep.
So if you're going to say, I'm not going to teach my team or lead my team or coach my team or work with my team, well, I don't really know what to say, because if you look at the compensation plan, even as a director, which I know many of you are aiming for, you're also getting paid 9% of Frontline Essential and Certified. Guys, I have 187 Frontline. I will never stop growing my Frontline, ever. Like Chastity said, if you have somebody that doesn't want to be a leader, let them be comfortable in that, because still, you helping them be the best certified consultant they can be, you're making 9% off each one.
Yeah.
But don't let that make you be like, oh, I don't want to help them promote because I'll make less off them. We're not playing that game. So Frontline Lead Consultant TWV bonus. So when you make bonuses off of your team, by the way, you are getting paid off of their TWV. Your TWV and your GWV is the exact same thing until you are a director and you have directors under you. I always tell my leaders like this. If you are their director, that is your team. If they have another director, that's their team, but it's your group. So Anchored Scents, right? We have 5 SSDs now. 5 SSDs, all right? All of you guys are an Anchored Scents group. All right, but a lot of you have different directors. That's your team. You get paid off of the TWV. So something I want you guys to do as well is open up your reporting tab, your performance tab, click on your leadership report, so you can literally look at your PRV, your TWV, and your GWV. Your GWV is Anchored Scents, all 5 groups. GWV, okay? That $3 million last month is GWV. TWV, which
that's going to look different for you guys. Your GWV obviously is going to look completely different than ours.
I'm explaining this group though, because they'll understand that.
Yeah.
My TWV is I'm their director and there's no directors in between. That's TWV. You're their director, there's no directors in between. If there's directors in between, whoever that person's director is on the workstation, that's their team, and the group is everybody under that initial director. Okay? Yep. Chastity, is there anything that we missed before Katie talks?
Well, and I was going to say one thing as far as it's in regards to this too, but and like I said, just become the reporting. If you have any questions at all on this, there is a reporting training that we did in Coach to Coach that goes into detail, and now hopefully that we've done this training, you understand why those reports and understanding the reporting tab is so key to your success, because Scentsy awards you the higher you go in leadership. So once you hit director, the percentages don't change and above. You just get paid off more generations the higher you go.
Of directors.
Yeah, so that's just what it is. But, everybody, you only get paid off your frontline. You only get paid off TWV. So that's why teaching your leaders who eventually become directors under you the importance and value of growing active frontline, because that is what the lifeblood is of your business, is your active frontline.
Well, and in my opinion, when you, again, look at this compensation plan, and like, I know Chastity's story, she joined under me, and I know that she was under another company, and I heard about the other compensation plans. Justin chose this company because of the compensation plan. And so it is very simple for you to understand, besides what we missed about over promoting, but it's just because it's only to a certain point until director.
The compensation plan makes sense.
It does make sense. And so that is why what Katie's about to talk about with building frontline, and not just building your frontline, but helping them to become active and helping to pull out the leadership and the ones that want to be leaders. Because if you take the time to do that, Scentsy is compensating you. They are compensating you as the leader.
It's time for Katie.
Wait, Chastity, do you have something to say? Okay, good. All right, there we
go. Okay, so the one thing I want to say, and I'm not going to take any of Katie's time, is that I wish I could find it, and I'm going to try to find the picture that somebody posted at some point of their paycheck when it was the difference of their PRV. I think their PRV was like 10,000, which is insane. and their paycheck when their PRV was like 3,000, but they had grown their team. Guys, I know that when you first join and you first start growing your team and those bonuses maybe aren't as much as you feel like you're putting in the work for, I know it can feel a little discouraging because we've all been there, but I can promise you that if you continue to build your business and you continue to build leaders, that you are going to grow your paycheck larger than you ever thought imaginable. And I've got full body chills because I know almost every single one of us got the biggest paycheck that we have ever had. And I never in a million years could even anticipate the paycheck that I just got. And it's because I've worked and worked and worked, and I've realized that you are going to get paid off of PRV one time. But the more that you continue to grow your business and grow your team, you're going to get paid while you sleep. You're going to be making money while you sleep. That is the definition of residual income. And that's what you're creating by taking all of these people to the top with you. So, and I get so emotional because I got a bonus today. Surprise, $1,500. And I mean, I'm just saying that because that's from annual sales and annual mentor. Like, and my AC is out, y'all. Like, that's what Scentsy has done. It is funny at this point because I've been dealing with it for 3 years, and I'm just like, I'm about to swipe that Scentsy card and pay for a new AC.
I was about to say, it's awesome that she's able to do that with it. It's crazy.
And that's what I want. It's okay that Justin laughed, because at this point, if I don't laugh, I'm just going to burn the whole damn house down.
I was just trying to get to where you get happy from.
No, you just didn't know you're muted. Quit talking.
No, I didn't.
But I just want you guys to realize that you need to stay the course. Don't just sell your heart out. If you want to grow a big business and a big paycheck, you grow that team, and I know Katie's going to dive right into it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I'm done.
And it's so true. Before I put Katie on, I'm going to tell you right now, all like Katie and Chastity both saw my paychecks today. Y'all can keep thinking it's not real, but I'm telling you right now, it is real. It's exactly what Chastity said. I'm just gonna leave it right there because there's nothing else to even say. All right, little Katie baby. Hang on. Wait. Okay.
You good.
I gotta follow Chastity, Chloe, and Justin. Lord. How are y'all tonight? So I'm going to talk a little bit about growing your frontline, the importance, but also talking about high PRV, because like Justin said, PRV needs to come first. Your PRV has to come first. Growing your PRV, aiming for high PRV month after month, that's how you're going to grow your customer base. So I want you to think about, Chastity hit on this, a lot of the things that I have written down, Chloe, Justin, and Chastity have already kind of touched on. If you have $400 or $500 parties a month, and of those 4 parties, 10 people ordered from all 4 parties, that's 40 people. You do that month after month, month after month, month after month. That's how you're going to grow your contacts and grow your customer base and grow your pool of people to have sponsoring conversations with. So if your PRV is low, you don't even need to be thinking about sponsoring right now. And I say this on every coaching call. If I read their forums and they say I want to focus on sponsoring, but they were just active, just had $200 PRV the month before, we don't need to be thinking about sponsoring. We need to be thinking about PRV, because what's going to happen when you sponsor that person that put that $200 order in? You're going to have 0 PRV. You're going to have 0 PRV. There is going to be ups and downs. I'll say I've been in Scentsy. January was 3 years, so 3 years and 5 months. My PRV has always been pretty high because I figured out early on to get higher PRV, it was easier to party versus getting individual orders. So to get parties, I had to ask people. I had to open my mouth and say, do you want free stuff? That's literally all partying is. Do you want free stuff? Do you want free stuff? Do you want free stuff? I figured out early on, if I could get people to book parties, if I could aim for a high party goal every month, my PRV would be high every month. That's how I met people. That's how I grew my customer base. And out of those people, month after month, as I followed up with them and built relationships, I started having conversations with people. for them to join this business to make money off of themselves. For me, I always aim for 2,500 PRV every month. That's always my goal, and my goal is always to sponsor 2 people a month. And if you think about that, sounds like an unachievable goal. But if you're breaking your goals down, like I just said about parties and new people ordering off of parties, that's how you're going to build contacts, new contacts to have sponsoring conversations with. That will come naturally. That will come. Almost every single person I've recruited came from a party or came from a PWS order. Almost every single one of them. It starts with PRV. It starts with booking those parties so that you can have those conversations. So if you want to grow your team, I really want you to think about taking care of people. For me, even when I first joined, it's always been about people. It started with customers. How can I treat my customers well? How can I take care of them well? How can I serve them well? Because if you serve your customers well, they're going to trust you. They're going to trust you. So when you want to have a sponsoring conversation with them, you already have a relationship with them and a foundation of trust that they're going to trust you, that they're going to want to join your team. So I said this on probably one of the guided growth trainings. If you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out and you're like wishy-washy and like nobody really knows if you're even doing Scentsy, you need to figure that out first, because nobody's going to want to buy, host, or join from somebody that has 1 foot in and 1 foot on a banana peel. Point blank, period. Striving for high PRV, people hear 2,000 PRV and they automatically start freaking out. I can never do that. I can never do that. If you're front loading, and Chastity hit this on the head, I'm already at 3,800 PRV. That's because I front loaded. That's because I spent last month front loading for this month to make sure my PRV was in place, trying new things to get PRV and reaching out to people. I booked 3 parties today from people that have ordered from me, because I asked them, do you want to get some free stuff? That's literally all I asked them. Do you want to get some free stuff? I'm going to bring a bag to you. You have to ask. If your mouth is closed, your business is closed. Point blank, period. Whether that be for PRV or sponsoring, if your mouth is shut, don't think people are just going to come to you because you did 1 post every 3 months or 1 post when Scentsy released something new, and people are going to come flocking to you, to your PWS, to order or to party with you or to join under you, because that's not how this works. That's not how this works. I can tell you that's not how this works. What works is building people. So I kind of went a little bit on a little tangent. Growing your frontline, my goal is always 2 frontline a month. But when I sponsor, I'll say this, it doesn't matter if you sponsor 20 people in 1 month. It does not matter if you sponsored 50 people in 1 month. It really doesn't matter. Because if you're not training them, if you're not showing them what to do, if you're not guiding them, if you're not helping them to be successful, it's pretty much a waste of your time sending them their join link. Don't be that person that just sends your link, they join, and you're like, oh, great, I sponsored 20 people. I'm going to be making bukus of money, and I'm going to be doing well. You're going to do well if your people do well. You're going to do well if your people do well. If they do well, you're going to do well, which blows my mind that people join and aren't trained by their sponsor, because you're hurting yourself if you do that. You're hurting. If you train them up for them to be successful, you're going to be successful. So it blows my mind when people join and they don't get trained. And I'm like, you're just hurting yourself, and it's a waste of your time. Growing your active frontline, sponsoring 2 people every single month, minimum, and training them correctly. It is better to have 2 people join you. You train them up right than you sponsor 20 people. There is literally a checklist on how to cover. Now, you can't make people want it. I mean, I sponsor people at least once a month that they join. I don't hear back from them. They don't want to get trained. You can't help that. You can't help that. What you can help is training them correctly, consistently having those conversations, consistently partying. I see Chastity put 2 by 2 by 2. Chloe taught me that when I first joined. I watched Boss Bay Basics had just came out in 2 by 2 by 2. And I have practiced that literally since the 2nd month I joined. 2 by 2 by 2. Literally since the 2nd month I joined in January. Since the second month, I've never had less than 2,000 PRV. Because I was taught early, 2 by 2 by 2 sets you up for success, and it does. I left my job after 2 years. So it works. You have to continually grow your frontline. You have to, point blank period. If you don't, your business will die. Your business will die. I have seen it happen before. I've seen it happen with one of my directors. I have seen it happen with multiple of my leaders. They sponsor for like 6 months, and then they're like, I'm going to juice out because I'm tired and stuff is happening in my life. So I'm going to juice out and I'm going to take a break. And here's the issue with that. Your team sees you do that and they juice out too. And then when you're ready to come back and you're full of fire again because you went to reunion or you watched your training after 4 or 5 months and you come back, your team's dead. Your team has already died. Your team has already left you. Don't let temporary feelings ruin you and make permanent decisions. You can't get that back. And here's what happens. You're going to sponsor. Not everybody's going to stay. You're going to be constantly replacing people in your team, in your frontline, in your group. Not everybody's going to stay. They're going to have a bad month or something happens in their life, and it's easier to give up than push through that. People that don't have a deep-seated why, that don't know what they're working towards, that don't have a clear vision, that don't know what they want out of this business will quit instead of persevere and push through the hard months. And hard months will come. They come with everybody. Everybody has hard months. Me, Chloe, and Chastity, we all have hard months. It doesn't matter what title you're at, you're going to have hard months. So if you think you're going to sponsor 3 people and you're going to have 3 active frontline, guess what? One of those active frontline could have a death in their family. They could have lost their job. And most people will quit. Most people will quit. So if you're riding on your 3 active frontline to get paid at title or to promote, I'm telling you, you might get by for 2 or 3 months, but a bad month's going to come and one of those people are going to let those temporary feelings affect them and they're going to fall off. They're going to put their kit down and they're going to quit. You're going to have to constantly be replacing people, your team, your group. And if people fall off, you can't make people stay. I mean, I had a frontline I checked in on today and she said, I was meaning to message you. I just don't think this is for me anymore. And that's fine. That's fine. But had I banked on her to get paid at title, I'd be screwed. You can't ride on 3 people. You have to continue sharing the opportunity month after month and growing your front line. People are going to leave. People are going to come and go. You're going to have to constantly, and not only you sponsor, but you need to be teaching your team to sponsor too. And if you're not sponsoring, don't expect your team to sponsor because they're not going to. If you're not sponsoring, do not ask your team to sponsor if you're not having sponsoring conversations. I see it with leaders. They'll be on fire and their team is doing so well. And what happens, and I've seen it, especially the last few months, they promote or they had the GWV, but they had 2 active frontline and their team is killing it. But their PRV is under 500 and they don't have the active frontline because they let their business die because they put their focus in their team. And their team was hustling and their team was working. And they said, I don't really need to work for PRV anymore. I don't really need to front load anymore. I don't really need to sponsor anymore. I don't need to do these things. And what happens is you may not think it will happen that month. Let it go on for 3, 4, 5, 6 months and you're going to watch your business die. You're going to watch your business die. It's the same thing with consistency. What you do month after month right now is going to pay off down the road. What you don't do month after month will catch up with you. Will catch up with you. I mean, you're going to reap what you sow. I mean, you may not sponsor every month, but if you're having sponsoring conversations consistently, somebody's going to join you. Somebody's going to join you. But it starts with PRV. You need that high PRV. So you have your customer base. And don't say you don't know anybody. Don't say you can't get high PRV off. Y'all knew where I live. My mama just bought Scentsy for me for the first time 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. For the first time. For the first time. You know how I got PRV or how I booked parties? I went to the bank when I went to go deposit money and asked the girl at the bank, would she grab one of my bags? I asked the girl at the post office, would she take one of my bags? You have to open your mouth, and it blows. My son's coming back here, just FYI. It blows my mind that people think that they can run a business but not have conversations, not have sponsoring conversations, not book parties, not do any of these things. Where's your dad? Not do any of these things. Consistency. And I'm telling you, like, this is going to sound bad, and I don't brag on myself, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but 2,500 PRV to me is low now, because I've strived so hard to push myself and push myself and push myself and shock myself. And really shock myself. And at the end of the day, when you start your month, when you go into your month, your goals that you have written down for your month, which they should shock you, and they should scare you. And you should look at them and you'll be like, I can do better than that. I can do better than what I did last month. I can do better than this. I can do better with this. And if you put people first, this is where I'm going, and then I'm done, I swear. Put people first. I've never thought, even before I promoted to director, I remember the month I promoted to director, I actually held my personal PRV back because I did not want to promote to director. I was scared to death. I never focused on a promotion, ever. And I'm not saying this to brag. Ever since I promoted to lead consultant, I've always gotten paid at title. Ever since I promoted from lead consultant to superstar director, I've always gotten paid at title. And it's because I put people first. I don't think about the promotion. I don't think about what's in it for me. What can I get out of it? I think about people. You think about your customers. When you take care of your customers, they're going to refer you. They're going to come back to you. They're going to refer people to join under you. Your team. You take care of your team. Your team knows if you're in it for you, y'all. They know if you're in it for you. They know if you're in it for you. If you're on your team page talking about how close you're getting promoting. They know if you're in it for you. If you put their best interests first and you want them to do well and you're genuine and you're authentic with them and they trust you, that promotion's going to come naturally. It's going to automatically happen. I've never thought about a promotion in any given month when I've promoted. It's always been about how can I help this person get their PRV goal? How can I get this person to reach their dream or reach whatever they want in their business? And it comes naturally if your focus is on people. If you're focused on people, the rest will come back tenfold. It'll come back tenfold. So high PRV, I think I touched on all of it. High PRV, front loading your calendar. That's going to grow your customer base so that you can have those sponsoring conversations. Hire your frontline. The higher your frontline, getting them active and working with them and coaching with them with the coaching forms that are already available to you, the new TME checklist that's already available to you, that's where your high TWV is going to come from. Teaching them to do what you're doing. If you're doing the right things, you're doing the right things and you're teaching them to do the right things, you're going to grow a big business. Oh, one more thing and then I'm done. When I do team mail every month, there is a direct correlation. Whoever is the top PRV person in my team and group, they are always the top sponsor too. Always. Always. There's maybe been 1 or 2 months where it's been different. Every time I do team mail, my top sponsor, my top PRV and for my group and team are always the same. That's not coincidence. That's not coincidence. It's because high PRV drives those sponsoring conversations so they can have those sponsoring conversations to get people to join. It's a direct correlation between PRV and sponsoring. So if your PRV is not where you want it to be, get that together. Get that together and ask some people to book some parties with you. Book your own party if you don't know where to start. Have your own open house with bring back bars. There's a direct correlation between high PRV and sponsoring. So start with PRV first. I think that's it.
Yeah,
Hello.
that was so good. I just unmuted Chastity too. So we're gonna just take a couple minutes to answer any questions you guys have. In the meantime, Chas, Katie, Justin, y'all have anything else you want to say? But any questions you guys have, especially about, I know we covered a lot and dug in a lot more than you guys probably thought, but we wanted to really make you guys understand that.
Well, and I'll just say something real quick, just because I'm still kind of behind the scenes on all this stuff, but there is a consistency into what these 3 SSDs, and if Ray was on, I'm sure if Jamie Gowers were on, would say the same thing. It's about people. And so every single one of them touched on that. So what I want you guys to get out of this more than anything is the compensation plan. It is what it is consistent. What's not consistent and what the difference is you. You affect how this compensation plan is going to play out in your life and the people under you. So you focus on making sure they have the knowledge and they're taken care of, and then you're not going to have anything to work out. But I'm telling you right now, it's something, I forgot which training it was. We've done it so many in the past, but I think it was Coach to Coach. I said this, as a leader, the best way you are viewed as a leader is if you are consistent, you're truthful, you're open, you're transparent, and you are just, that's just what it takes. Now, what I am going to say about this though is through this, you may want to try to save people that are not worth saving, which is why you'll hear me say energy bust a lot. So don't think that it is your responsibility once you get to that leadership role to save somebody's business. You heard Katie say it, and I'm glad she said it, because I think some people will get to the director role and feel like because they're at their front line, if they fall off, it's a direct correlation on how you lead. No, it's not. Some people are just not cut out, I hate to say it, for direct sales and sales, and they could be, but like Katie said, they just don't push through it. So I love what these girls are talking about and what they built here for the culture. This is exactly when Chloe signed up for it, what I envisioned, a culture of people bringing everybody else up and bringing the best versions out of everybody. And that's why I love this compensation plan, because that's what it's built to do.
Katie, Chastity, anything else?
I only have one more thing.
Okay.
Out of that everybody has said tonight, one of our core values is simplicity. And I hear so many people say they get overwhelmed in this business. And when there's systems in place to help with that and all of those things, keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Your customers come first. Partying comes first. The rest will fall into place if you're doing those things. Following up with your customers, party. Following up with your customers, party. You keep doing those things, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't reinvent the wheel. Keep it simple. Keep your business simple. People want to see simple too. If you're making it too hard or you're struggling, yeah, you can struggle 1 month, but if you're struggling several months in a row, that's a business issue. Like, you shouldn't be struggling. If you're a year or two into this business or even a few months and you're struggling just to get active, that's a business issue. Mm-hmm. That's not a sales issue. That cat's, y'all see him, right? He is the devil.
That's what I'm laughing at.
I saw your cat tearing up her Scentsy bag. I was looking at Chloe. I was like, Chloe, that cat's about to get into her Scentsy bags.
That cat's about to die.
He's the devil, y'all. He's only here because Aiden loves him. That's it. That's it. That is all.
Yeah, and I mean, go ahead, Katie. What were you saying?
I'm done.
So someone was asking questions about their sponsor or somebody underneath them. I'm not really sure, like, not being about the training. I would say, yeah, definitely talk to your director. And she said that she's talked to her. Like, this is the thing. Not everybody is going to be here for it. And not everybody's going to like the way that certain people train. And you know what? That's okay. And if they don't like the way that I train or the way that Chloe trains or the way that Katie trains, there's YouTube. There's the workstation. And what was that?
It's Justin's dog, the one you
that was
love.
Roscoe.
London.
It's, yeah.
Not everybody is going to love the way that you train or the things that you say. And that goes along for you too. As a leader, you're going to learn that there are going to be customers and team members that you can't please. And there's going to be, honestly, nothing that you can do to please them. And what I want you to realize is that, number one, leadership is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. And I know that Justin, Chloe, Katie, Ray, Jamie, I know that any other leaders that are on here can agree with me. This is the thing, though. you need to be confident in where you are. And as long as you know that you're doing right by your team and you are leading them from the heart and you are being honest and you are doing what God's called you to do. And I mean, we're a group that believes in faith and believes in God. And that's how, I mean, we're just led by that. Then just know and go to bed at night knowing that you've done what you can do. And that if they decide to not tune into that and they decide to leave that culture, let them.
Yeah, and just, like, even to be honest, if somebody's going to get offended out of training on helping them be better human beings and better business owners, I question their actual work ethic, integrity, and, you know what I mean? It's almost as if, and I used to be this way when I was younger, because I used to competitively cheer, so I used to not take constructive criticism well, okay? Like, I was horrible at it. Like, I always thought I couldn't be, I'm right, everybody else is wrong. And I had to learn that, especially if somebody loves you and you know their heart and you know like that they want the best for you, right? These trainings, we don't get paid off this, okay? We don't make any money off of this, okay? So, like, I had to learn, if it's coming from someone that values me and is pouring into me, I need to listen so I can be a better human being. So in my opinion, I don't want someone in this group that is going to punish someone else that they are underneath because they don't like a training. It sounds extremely immature, and I'm not going to get into it because this will be on YouTube, but you didn't need him anyways. It sounds like a leech. It sounds like an energy vampire. It sounds like somebody who's extremely unhappy in their life. And if they understood anything on the trainings that all of us do, especially Guide to Growth we just did, we did that because we want people to get to the top with us. So I want to challenge that person's heart, and it's a them problem. It's not an us problem. It's not a you problem as their leader. Keep pushing, keep doing the hard things, keep bringing people into your culture that are going to be like-minded. You're not always going to find people that are nice. I get emails almost every other day, or a text or something from somebody that has something to say to me. It's not going to change the fact of me knowing who I am, period. And what you're going to see happen sometimes with team members is they take their day out on you. They take this out on you. They take that on you. Don't take it. Like, that's a whole nother training, but that is not okay. And you don't need to tolerate it. So bless and release. Me, Katie, and Chastity have all been through situations like this. Don't let it consume you. Don't talk about it. Move on. Let them be with their little Linda life, doing whatever they're doing because they're unhappy because they don't want to be trained. And so they're probably not going to get on the trainings anyways. They probably didn't even get certified quickly. So anyways, I can't with any of that. I don't have time for it. We don't get paid off these things. This is extra we do for y'all.
So is there any more questions?
Yeah, so is there any other questions that you want to go through them?
I'm just checking something out.
All right.
And just remember that a lot of times when people get upset about the things that we say, it's because we're hitting them where it hurts because they needed to self-reflect. And we're okay with that. And we can go to bed at night knowing that anything that we say, we're saying it because we want you to be better and because we wish somebody had told us sooner. And that's the one thing that I've always learned from Chloe is that she may have a hard conversation with you, but it's because she wants us as SSDs to do it faster than her and to do it better than her and to just rise above. So just remember that. Don't let people kill your vibe. Protect your peace.
Boom, boom.
We're going to end on that note and stop the recording.